are the most wonderful husband and son I ever had.
Art 101 with Mr. Burgher.
Well, hello and welcome back to Art 101 with me, Mr. Burgher, a professional artist and educator attempting to bring you the best in art historical content.
What I like about the man, he's a philosopher.
Oh, yeah.
As always, I appreciate likes, shares, subscribes, so please interact with the video.
I say you're a liar and a cheat.
And of course, welcome to Burgher Acres, my homestead out here in beautiful North Carolina. And as an Iowa native, I tell you what, there's nothing more frustrating than the misconceptions of one of my favorite paintings and one of my favorite artists and, one of my countrymen, Grant Wood and his painting American Gothic. There are a lot of people that misinterpret the painting. So today, I want to help you interpret it correctly. Grant Wood's American Gothic is the second most parodied painting in all of art history, second only to the Mona Lisa herself. It has been remade into all sorts of different versions and variations, but it's also been used on products, all kinds of products from clothing and beyond. It has been created into abstractions and parodied on many levels. It has been remastered by all kinds of famous figures in popular culture. It has been used and utilized for television and many movies over the years. It has been used in numerous print media as well as in advertising campaigns. It has been recreated in three-dimensional design as well as two-dimensional design, but some of my favorite pieces that nod to Grant Wood and his great painting, The American Gothic, are those that embody the organizational structure of this wonderful painting. However, most people get it wrong. This is completely wrong. However, this is completely correct.
I must admit I'm at a bit of a quandary when it comes to you.
So first and foremost, this is a painting of the farmer and the farmer's daughter. Playing the role of the farmer was Grant Wood's family dentist, Dr. B.H. McKeeby. And in the role of the farmer's daughter was Grant Wood's sister Nan. Another parallel to the Mona Lisa is that the only face that is more iconic than Nan's face in American Gothic in all of art history is that of the Mona Lisa herself.
Been looking for me, Pa?
But perhaps the most famous role in the entire painting is that Gothic 5-panel window in the farmhouse. And how he got that farmhouse into the painting is a unique story in and of itself. So back in the day, Grant Wood liked to drive around the countryside, or in this case, ride around the countryside in the passenger side of the vehicle. And this is what they would call going on tour. This was essentially driving around the gravel roads to elude law enforcement so that groups of people could socialize, drink, drive, and do whatever they wanted on these back roads without the fear of being apprehended for driving while intoxicated. But I digress a little bit here. So on one particular occasion, Grant Wood and his buddies are driving around the countryside in the area around Eldon, Iowa. And one of his buddies had this idea that he was going to drive out to the local brothel.
I'm just a country boy.
So as they drive out to the local brothel, Grant Wood's friends go to have their good time. But as I have mentioned in my video on Grant Wood, He was very much a closeted gay man and did not have any desire to go to the brothel. So he sat in the car. What did he do? He drew. And on the back of an envelope, he would draw that brothel house with the window right in the center, that Gothic 5-panel window that did not look like it belonged anywhere in the Iowa landscape.
I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
So upon assembling all of the pieces to this painting, he would create the composition and the painting and execute that in 1930. So here's a question for you. What does it mean? Again, we are in the mindset of somebody in the 1920s. We cannot allow our 21st century idea of the world influence our interpretations of this painting.
That is, if you want my opinion.
Back in the day, you could not just call up somebody on the telephone and ask them out. You had to go through a process. A young man that would want to go on a date with a young lady would have to go to the house, ask permission of her parents. They would have to have a plan. Did the father trust the young man? And I know it seems a little bit misogynistic, but that was the process in the late 1920s. So essentially what we are seeing is a young suitor coming to visit a young lady that he is interested in. And so he has to meet with the father. The father is standing to the front of the daughter, who is looking away with not the happiest of expressions on her face, almost to emotionally remove herself from the situation that she finds herself in.
I'm your huckleberry.
As a young man, who we are as the viewer, we are in the head through the eyes of the young man visiting the house for the first time, with the dad laying the law down, holding his pitchfork, saying essentially, you bring my daughter back or there will be a punishment. And clearly the farmer is not playing games. He does not look the friendliest, because that is the impression that he wants to personify in front of the young suitor coming to take his daughter out on a date. Also, the hard life of the Great Depression is also imprinted on their faces.
Bless their hearts.
And so the iconic painting of the farmer and the farmer's daughter is completed, and it is quickly placed into an art show at the Art Institute of Chicago. In this show, it would win third prize, and the work is instantly sold to the Art Institute of Chicago for the modest price of $300. Most people that saw the painting didn't understand what regionalism painting was really about at that time, but they totally understood Grant Wood's work that was printed in newspapers all across the country. It would explode with popularity and become the icon and become this symbol of Americana across the world. Grant Wood himself would say there is a satire in it, but only as there is satire in any realistic statement. These are types of people that I have known all my life. I tried to characterize them truthfully to make them more like themselves than they were in actual life. This painting would propel Grant Wood, the artist in overalls, into global artistic superstardom. But there were some that thought that the painting was a sign of disrespect, a sign of sarcasm that was intended to be hurtful, but most people eventually came to the conclusion that this is a work by a regionalist painter that was reflecting his knowledge of people, a representation of the Iowa lifestyle, life situation, and there was a lot more positive reflected in the work than what would be construed as negative.
It's time you learn to respect your betters.
Hopefully people that watch this will walk away having a better sense of what American Gothic is about and not what popular culture has spun it into being. It is about family, protecting family from external dangers, and really nothing more. And that is a positive thing. that is something that all generations can understand.
Hey, I love that story. Time to get back to work.
Well, this just ain't my day. I just get rid of one fool and three more come tearing in.